right, we are live. Hello out there and happy first day of October. This is Kat's Home Chat, where we enrich people's lives by bringing in experts that have all kinds of nuggets of wisdom and information that will hopefully change your life and empower your life to give you power, because we all know that knowledge is power. I'm super excited today. I believe this is our 53rd episode. I'm super excited to have Angela Menchaca as my guest today. And she's going to share with us some top things, in her opinion, that you need to know if you or someone you know, excuse me, I've got a little Brenda Vaccaro going on. I'm getting on the other side of laryngitis, but I will do my best, and I may be drinking tea here. She's going to share with us the top things that she feels that you need to know and empower yourself if you're looking to sell a home or buy a home. So stay tuned. If you don't have the time to watch it on the flip side, and this will be recorded and sent to our YouTube channel, Tada by Kat. And if I have not met you, I am Kat Trolinos with Tada by Kat, Next Level Staging and Design. And I'm going to give a little plug right here at the top, because I always forget at the end. If you are looking to sell your home and you need some help, we can help you get it looking like HGTV in no time, so that you can focus on that next step in your journey with your realtor helping you find a new home. Without further ado, Angela, welcome to our show. Will you tell our
Thank
folks?
you.
Yes, I'm so glad you could join me. I know it's taken a couple of weeks for us to connect, and I know it's going to be well worth it. Angela and I go back, I was looking at my text, like 6 years or more. And Angela is a broker associate and an assistant manager for the Woodlands Better Homes and Gardens real estate. Let me say it right. Better Homes and Gardens Real Estate Gary Green, the #1 brokerage in Houston Association of Realtors, and teeters between 1 and 2 out of 26 offices. So she's very knowledgeable. So stay tuned. Angela, you've got the floor. Tell us a little bit before we get started. If any of your colleagues or agents are watching, I hope you are, tell us something, share us something that maybe they don't know about Angela.
About me?
Yeah.
Oh, well, personally, I love action movies and peanut butter.
Action movies and peanut butter. Okay.
Yes.
Smooth or crunchy?
Crunchy.
Crunchy. And what's your favorite brand?
Jif All Natural.
Jiffy All Natural. Okay. I was going to guess something on the natural side, but not like Laura Scudder's where you have to stir it.
No.
Yeah, that takes away that experience, doesn't it?
Not when you get like a full workout trying to stir the.
Yes. Yeah, you build muscle stirring it. Exactly. So do you like it with jelly? Do you like it with apple butter? What's your favorite way to have it?
Either apple jelly or syrup.
Or what?
Syrup.
Ooh, syrup. This is my kind of gal. Okay, we'll get off the food. Thank you for sharing that. And agents out there, so now you know, some peanut butter for Angela.
I can be bribed with Reese's peanut butter cups.
There we go. I always forget to ask that. You know, it's those little things that just make a difference. So, Angela, you and I talked about, what topic, and we could talk for days on topics of real estate and even really what you should know to buy or sell. So let's start with buyers, because, you and I discussed, and it's obvious that the market has taken, some morph, it's morphed into different areas, and it's now kind of, I want to say, self-correcting itself, as the market always does. Mm-hmm. So in today's market, starting in, I can't believe it's October. Can you?
No.
Oh my gosh, where is this year going? And please don't tell me how many days before Christmas. So many people are still, this is a great time to sell their home, right? I mean,
definitely.
People think, summer, But it's been my experience, particularly when I was in new home sales, there's a lot of relocation happening. Corporate America, I think, still does a lot of, excuse me, reorganizing and repositioning. And so people are coming out of the area and they need a home fast before the new year, right?
Yes. Yeah.
So I'm not going to steal your thunder. I know you've probably thought about it. Share with us, if you could, let's talk about three, in your opinion, are the top things that sellers need to be armed with when they're going to sell a home today, in today's market. What are you seeing out there?
For selling your home, it definitely is a seller's market. So sellers aren't having to work as hard to get their homes sold.
So it's still a seller's market.
It is still a seller's market.
Are we still seeing that where it's selling in, 10 hours? Are we still seeing that?
Not as, unless it's really like underpriced, but I mean, it was that case where you'd have 5-6 offers within, 4 hours and people hadn't even seen the home. They didn't even live in the state.
Insane. Right.
It was crazy. And now it's gotten a little bit better. So you can expect 3 to 4 offers, maybe within the first 4 or 5 days.
Wow. And what price, of course, obviously price ranges are different. We stage a lot of standard homes, but luxury homes too. When you're getting in, $1 million, $2 million, that expectation is different because it's a smaller pool of buyers.
Yes.
So what's the average price point that you're seeing that's selling in, with multiple offers in a week?
Oh, probably anything under 300.
Under 300. Okay.
Yeah.
So that's under 300.
Because that's your biggest pool, and you've got...
That's your biggest pool of affordability, maybe first-time home buyers or empty nesters, things like that. Okay.
Definitely. So
as a seller, let's talk to the sellers. How should they position themselves? Let's talk about 3 things that you feel that they should know based on what the market is today.
Sure. So for a seller, I think one of the most important things is to pick your right agent.
Ooh, yes.
Just because you see an agent sign everywhere doesn't mean they're the best agent for you. So you've got to find an agent that's going to listen and understand what your needs are, and then have the time and attention, to work with you through those things.
So how would a seller, what's the best way for a seller to decipher that? I mean, some think, oh, well, they should look, they've sold the most. That still may not be a fit.
Right.
We do something in design, the design part of our business, we do a discovery call, find out a little bit more about their project. But more importantly, what I tell them is to see if we are a fit, personality wise, expectation wise. Not everybody is a fit with everybody. Because you've got your high D's, drivers, you've got your, if you look at the DISC program, you've got different personalities, right? That some mesh with others. So how do you suggest, what's the most, expeditious way to determine that? Because a lot of people have referral. Oh, I know it gets touchy when it's a relative, well, my niece is a realtor.
Yeah.
Back when I was actively pursuing real estate, as you know, I do keep my real estate license for friends and family.
Yeah.
And this is probably counterintuitive to what I'm going to say. I think you have to be very select, but, sometimes family is not the best choice. Maybe you want to, or a friend, maybe you want to keep your friend, have them do a referral fee and go with someone, that's a third party, that if you need to be tough with them, you can, because there's a lot of balls to juggle in real estate. Real estate is not for the faint of heart, and you need someone tenured like yourself that knows how to manage and negotiate every step of the way.
Yes, right? Definitely. And as far as picking the right agent, if you see signs in the neighborhood, of course, I would reach out to those people. Read the reviews online. Go on HAR. Look at their website. Do they have a good social media presence? Do they have a YouTube channel? Do they have all the avenues to market your property? Do
That
they
is
utilize?
that's a great point, because, today it is all about the digital. And if people don't, if they're not marketing your property in all of the digital avenues, they're really missing out. So that's, so check reviews. We're real big on reviews. We're very proud of over 85 5-star reviews on House. Pat myself on the back here, pat our team on the back.
That's impressive.
Because, you can blow your horn all you want, but it's what are other people saying about the experience they had with you. Knowledge is power, yes, but how were you treated? How was the experience? It's not that there's not going to be issues, because there's no perfect transaction, right? Some come close,
No.
But there's hurdles and challenges and negotiations to overcome. I believe that your realtor, one of their main jobs is to keep the stress from you. Handle it on the backside. Would you agree with that?
Most definitely. Yeah, there are a lot of moving pieces, as you know, to real estate, and a lot of just pushing the whole thing from beginning to end that happens behind the scenes that a lot of people don't see. And so you've got to have a strong agent that knows how to do that and is good at follow up and keeps track of deadlines and when things are
and answers their phone and has a good team. I only do a few transactions a year, and I have an assistant, because paperwork's my downfall, and you cannot be weak on paperwork in real estate, right?
No. Not at all.
So we're going to move. So number one, do your due diligence. Look at reviews online. Look to see what kind of presence your realtor has.
And interview several people.
And interview several people.
It's okay to interview them.
Absolutely. And certainly the neighborhood is a good one, because they know the neighborhood. But that's just one spoke of the wheel. What's another thing that you would say is critical for sellers to know?
So the second thing I would say is to prepare yourself for the move. Think about, what is your time frame for moving? When does it make the most sense to put it on the market? When, where are you going to go if your house does sell? And is this the right time to sell? Have your agent run, a market analysis and kind of gauge where you think you'll be as far as what you'll get out of your house.
Right.
And does that make sense for you financially? Sometimes it doesn't.
So I guess it really depends, doesn't it, Angela, on that's one thing that just always marveled me, in new home sales and in real estate, is the various reasons people are moving. It's impactful. It's emotionally impactful. Some good, some not so good. It can be a marriage. It can be a divorce. It can be a promotion. It can be a demotion. It can be a death. It can be a birth. These are all right? I just say them. I get chills. These are life-changing events, which all the more, I know you as a realtor, you have to be somewhat of a psychologist too, and very compassionate, because sometimes you'll get the brunt of it and of those emotions if people are not, in control of their emotions, and it'll get taken out on you. So you kind of have to be, I used to say, like a duck, like water, let it run off your back and stay focused.
I've had kids fall out in houses crying because there wasn't a staircase.
Because there wasn't a staircase? Oh, so let's talk about that, because that used to be one of my, I just realized that people don't know what they really don't know what they don't know, and they don't know what they want. But it is important in this second topic that you're talking about. Would you agree, for your buyers now? Well, now I'm talking about buyers, not sellers. Okay, so we'll save that for the next thing. But back to the sellers. Yes, know what they're going to net. Good realtor like yourself runs a net sheet, so you'll have a good idea of what kind of money you're going to come out with. And so if it's optional for you to move, it's not an impending event that you have to move because of a job or et cetera, a realtor will navigate that time frame for you and help you decide based on, statistics and the numbers, et cetera, is it the best time for you to sell? And then be prepared. As Angela said, how many times are people selling their home and they really don't have a home yet? Is that the norm?
Right now, yes. And some
Is.
people are selling and then deciding to rent for a year because they
Okay.
don't know where they're going to go, and there's not a lot on the market.
Okay. So some people are saying, look, I want to maximize the market right now, cash out on this inflated equity and take my money and run and sit and wait till maybe the market. And so that's a strategy too.
Yeah.
But just have a game plan. Obviously there's so many variables. Do they have kids? Do they need to know what school district? What's the travel to work? All of those things, so have a game plan, And then I would add to that, stage your home, have your home staged, even if you're
definitely
have it staged. And I know Angela believes that. Have it staged because statistics show, and if you're a realtor out there, a lot of realtors don't know that National Association of Realtors, NAR, has the latest statistics that verify that your home staged will bring, between 5 and 17% more than unstaged. So don't forget the staging part. And if you need help with that, of course, we can help you with that at Tadaba Cat.
Of course, call Cat.
We've got great packages. In fact, we have some fall packages coming out. So reach out to me if you'd like that. So is there another point you'd like to make that we haven't talked on, kind of key things that you're, when you're getting ready to sell, you should know? So we've got realtor, we've got, have a game plan, know where you're going, know what you're going to get out of there.
So I think having a great realtor, preparing yourself for the move. And then the third thing would be preparing your home for the move, like staging, decluttering, painting. I mean, go walk through your house as if you don't live there. All those little things that you ignore, like your light switch cover's cracked, replace it, caulk and seal your windows. I mean, all the little things that typically show up on an inspection report, the cleaner you can make it up front, the better. I mean, fix the window seals, ceilings, make sure all your plugs work.
All those things that you didn't, all those things you didn't do when you were living there.
Yeah.
As Angela says, and this is when I do a walk and talk, I tell clients, what I need you to do is put on your buyer's hat. I know you're out looking at homes. So put on your buyer's hat as if you're looking at home and look at your home. Because, we look at it, then we go, oh yeah, well, maybe, what was I thinking? Yeah, I better fix that up because potential buyers make assumptions and they start judging subconsciously with little things, which would just cost you a little, maybe a little money, maybe just some labor, some sweat equity, to say, and they start judging at the front porch. Oh, this home is taken care of. And so their defense is down and they're looking at it differently than, oh, wow, there's, all kinds of things I see that little things that need to be fixing. How well did they take care? The bigger things, the HVAC, did they change the filters, plumbing, all of that. So preparation, is
sure.
But again,
I was saying, even on your front door, like you said, when you first walk up, you can get your front door restained for like $250. But if somebody walks up, they're like, oh, that's $5,000. I got to replace the whole front door. And they start calculating all of the things in your head. And in this market, I have seen buyers come in at a really high price to get, the deal done. And then they start chopping away when it comes to inspections and things like that.
I have seen that. Yes, I have seen that. We helped my mother-in-law's and I knew the strategy he was doing. I mean, we were still, way over the latest comps, because it was beautifully staged.
Of course.
And because of the market. But that is such a good point, Angela. I've done a talk on the power of paint. And, when folks say, oh, well, no, we can just give a paint credit. Well, paint credits don't work. Carpeting credits don't work. Credits don't work because buyers don't buy what they don't see. And when they see these things, as Angela said, let's say a room costs $400 or $500 to paint. That's probably high. It's probably $250. What happens is if they do fall in love with the house, and usually the woman decides that, she's like, honey, I love it. It's, it's perfect. It's in the school district. It has this, it has that. And sometimes the husband's like, okay, well, fine. He'll give in. But we're offering 5,000 less because he sees a honeydew list.
Mhm.
Well, do the math, right? 500 or 5,000, oh, I got to paint it. It might be a knickknack, knickknack items, a half dozen knickknack items that maybe added up to 1,000, but they want to reduce the price by 5 or 10,000. So hang on to your equity. As Angela says, prepare the home.
Yes.
And
that takes place in either kind of market. So like you said, if it's a buyer's market, it'll happen in the beginning when you're trying to get an offer on the home. In the seller's market, it'll happen after the contract's already, executed, and they'll start trying to knock it down. So
right. And that is key. Don't think, oh, woo, we got this big price, because then they're just going to strategically, as Angela said, start chipping away to where what you thought was a great price now is just an okay price. That's a great point, Angela. So let's talk about, so that's on the seller side. Let's talk about our buyers out there who
Mhm.
are looking to buy. What are the, let's talk about the 3 top things that you think they should be in the know for.
Well, definitely the first one is to have a strong agent.
Well, yes.
And you may want to
That's
use the same agent that helped you sell your house, but if you're selling a house in the Woodlands and buying a house in Galveston, that might not be the best agent for you. The agent that's helping you find wherever you're moving, I mean, maybe your agent that helped you sell the house, you're loyal to them, they could refer you to someone, but just make sure you've got somebody that really knows that area.
That's a good point. And I think that a lot of people don't realize, I know my family doesn't realize this, that I'm like, keep the money in the family, that they can, if they have a loyalty to them, maybe especially if they're a relative or whatever, or just a good friend they've used for years, is, I'm sure they would be more than willing to say, you know what, I think it's in your best interest to use Betty because she knows the Galveston area. If you would allow me to refer her, then, then I would get a referral fee, but then she would, which doesn't come out of your monies at all because she's helping with the buying side, and everybody's happy. And then, she knows the area, so she can best serve you in that area. Would you suggest that, Angela?
Most definitely. Yeah.
Okay. And I think a lot of people don't know that because they don't know the behind the business. So just remember that, guys, if you're not going to, and some people maybe, they just hold that guilt and don't tell them and then use another agent, you'll feel better. Your friend / realtor will feel better if you keep them into, a stipend of referral fee. Yeah.
And your agent, I mean, even if they're like a friend or family, they should want you to have the best representation.
Absolutely.
Because they should be glad to refer you to somebody else.
Absolutely.
If that's the case,
yes,
if you're moving to an area they don't know.
Absolutely.
And the second thing, I would pick somebody that's really good at negotiations. So when you're buying negotiations.
So how do you find out, how would you decipher that to know if they're good in negotiations?
Well, I mean, I would ask them some questions. There are also some designations. There's like a certified negotiation expert. There's a certified master's negotiation expert. No, the little letters. Have that. You see, I have the negotiation expert one. But also just ask them some questions about like ask your agent, how will you position my offer to stand out amongst all the other offers? And wait for their answer. I mean, a really good agent will be able to articulate to you what they're going to do that. And a couple of things that they can do. One is if you're not paying cash, which, I mean, let's be honest, most people are not in that position unless you're an investor to pay cash. You've got a loan, conventional loan, FHA, VA. I mean, work with the lender. Go ahead and get yourself through the whole loan process. Give them the W-2s, give them your pay stubs and all the information that they ask so that your offer is not contingent on loan approval. Because that could be scary to some sellers to say, well, if they can't get approval for their loan by this, within this number of days, then they can back out of the offer. So maybe we'll go
Absolutely.
with
You
the
want a
cash
strong
offer.
offer. So now what you're talking about, just for clarification, we know they have to have a pre-approval, I think is what they
Yes.
call it. But what you're saying is take it a step further, because on a pre-approval, basically what they've done is run your credit score. And one other thing. What's the other thing?
It's basically just asking you questions about your salary and your,
Yeah,
like
that's
what
it.
your debt may
There's
be.
there's been no documentation, so there could be surprises down there when they find out your DTI, your debt to income ratio. That could blow the deal. Oh yeah, I make $100,000. Yeah, but I've got all this debt,
Exactly.
$5,000 a month child support, all these bills. So, Angela, that's a really good thing in today's market, seller's market, to have your full approval. That will definitely give you the edge, the leg up, right?
To go through that process. And it's not that painful, especially if you have a good lender.
And everything's
there's no
digital.
surprises.
Yeah, everything's digital now. I
all.
know when we did ours, it was years ago, but I mean, within 48 hours, we had everything sent to them digital, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah. So that makes it really easy. It's not like the old days. Yeah.
Right. Especially right now.
Boxes and the files and everything. Okay, so it's a give and have a realtor that can negotiate and articulate that they can negotiate, because I think, Angela, a lot of folks are under the misnomer that the only thing you're negotiating is the price. Right. How many things are there to negotiate in a real estate transaction, would you say, ballpark?
At least probably 10.
Yep.
I'll probably get to that point. I mean, there's a lot 10. Of different things.
And that's depending on, during that option period where you do an inspection, there could be 10 things just within that. So just depending on how smooth the transaction is, how many things that need to be talked about. Yeah, it could even be more than that. So it's not just the price. I can't, say it enough and agree with Angela. Have someone who knows how to negotiate, possibly has some training certifications, CNE or MCNE, Master Contract Negotiation or Contract Negotiation, and can articulate to you how they are going to market and negotiate your property.
Yes.
Or your, I'm sorry, we're talking about buyers. Your
offers.
Your transaction, because that's where the biggest competition is. So I have a question on that. Do you think it's valuable to have a letter included, like so-and-so single mom, she's, wants her kids in the school, and she's a nurse, I mean, a personal letter. Do you think that's valuable?
I, as a broker and a manager, would refrain from doing that. Because especially if you're a listing agent, I would put an MLS that you will not accept what we call love letters, because they could get you in trouble with fair housing.
Oh.
And so we just recommend, to the agents in this office, I tell them don't, if you're listing a house, don't even accept them, because you don't want to put yourself or your sellers in that position for someone to come back and, file a complaint.
Wow. So that must have been done at some point, huh?
At some point, yes.
Yeah, that's something new. I thought that would be a good thing, but I never thought of that. So if you're a realtor out there and or you're a buyer and you're kind of pushing your realtor to do that, that may put you and your realtor, in jeopardy of being fined or having, the local board come down on you. So
definitely on the sell side.
Definitely on the sales side. Okay. Is there anything else that we haven't?
Some other things, that you can negotiate are the option period. I mean, most people put 10 days. You can go 7 or even 5 if you got an agent or yourself know an inspector that you can already line up. So, the day after you make your contract executed, have the inspector out there, negotiate for a couple of days. That's always very appealing to sellers, to not have 2 weeks for you to just change your mind for any reason. That's
a great strategy. Yeah, That's a great strategy. So we're running at 10:30. I do want to point out great information, Angela, that I'm sure will be valuable and arm many of our sellers and buyers with some information to power them up in real estate transactions. The one thing I wanted to mention, I started to jump on the sell side, but it's actually on the buy side, is the fact that when I used to actively sell, I would have my buyers list their must-haves for the home, and sometimes it's what I must not have also. I absolutely cannot have power lines in my backyard, but I must be in this school district. I need a double oven. I need a pool, whatever their top, 4 to 6 things are. Do you find that helpful?
Definitely. Especially when it comes to area. Now, right now, with the way the market is, it's really hard to be that specific. Sometimes you're like, oh, there's a house for sale in the neighborhood. We'll take it.
Right. Yeah, we'll take it.
Right.
But as the market corrects itself, and
Yes.
what I found out, and I found this the hard way back in California many years ago, when this lady told me, well, I absolutely must have a pool. And I'm thinking that buyers aren't liars. I don't mean that, but that they actually know what they want. And I'm very if you tell me this is the only homes you want to see, I'm going to do exactly that, and that was just inexperience, not knowing, because you ended up buying from actually the seller's agent, the listing agent, who said, oh yeah, I can take care of you, and didn't have a pool. So I'm sure you'll agree. Sometimes you'll have your list. You've got your 5 things that your buyer wants, must have. But until you take them out and show them a few properties, do you find sometimes, I know I have, that they had discovered, oh yeah, I absolutely need that, but they didn't know it they didn't know what they wanted till they really saw. And then
right.
Like, oh, yeah, that's got to be on my list. Have you run across that?
For sure, definitely. Because I've had the same thing where I don't want a pool, and then they start sending me houses with pools. I'm like, what?
I wasn't looking for a pool. Yeah, so they change, and I think especially, where the average purchase of a home is about 7 years, the statistics used to be.
Yeah.
So, you're not looking or going through the process. You don't really know till you get out there. So I know, seasoned realtors like yourself know that. You'll use that as a soft guideline, and then have your ears open and your eyes open when you see their, I remember I saw a lady's eyes light up over a double oven, and she'd never said anything about that. And then after that, it was, I've got to have a double oven. And of course, there's other solutions. Well, you could put a double oven here. If everything else is good, that's not a really major thing. We can put a double oven in, not
a lot of compromise sometimes too. I mean, if it can, things you can add, like you can't really easily add a 3rd car garage typically. No. I mean, some things you just have to have as it, I only want this. If it doesn't have that, like it's got to have 4 bedrooms. Well, it's got 3 in an office. Or flex space.
Yes.
So you gotta have to, look at all of the properties that are out there.
Look at all
decide, will it work?
Yes. And the other thing, and I would like to mention real quick, we're going over a little bit, but hopefully y'all are really liking this information. I know you are. And that is, your seller, let's talk about your seller, your buyer will say, well, I want a home, no more than 300,000, let's say. Well, a new realtor may just search up to 300,000. Exactly. And what homes are they missing in the 305 or 3010? And when you're looking at a 30-year fixed at still historically low interest rates, that's really not a lot of money. But if you're coming up, without inventory, your realtor, needs to up that, so that pool of homes opens up.
Yes.
Would you agree with that?
Yes. So the buyer's agent should definitely go up a little bit, because they may do a price job. They may be negotiable on their price, and you want to make sure you capture all of that. And then when you're on the sell side, I mean, don't list it for 301 because most searches are going to go up to the whole dollar amount. And then
Yes.
buyers may be missing that and sellers may be missing that. So you have to be very
Yes.
thoughtful.
And you're not selling pizzas or shoes. How many times have you seen that? Like the 9.9, it's like
98 cents, like Walmart.
Yeah. So price positioning is critical because that's how you're searched in on the board, on the local board, and your seasoned realtor will guide you on that, particularly if you're wanting to increase the price or decrease the price, to strategically price position in the most searchable price point.
And also with, I mean, some agents, as a listing agent, you can look at the comps and pick where you want to be, but you also have to decide, okay, in this market, it's a little different, but typically it's, well, how long do you want to be on the market for? And then you have to look at that price against all the actives that are in the neighborhood. And where do you fall in your neighborhood? Because they're not going to just look at your house and comps. They're going to look at everything on these 3 streets or everything that goes to the school, and then decide from that list which one they want to go see or not see. So you need to make sure you're not, at the very top unless your house warrants that, of course.
Exactly. And that's a good point. That's a good point that you brought up, Angela, is your realtor should be asking you, well, how long do you want to be on the market? And I know, what I used to do with sellers is I would give them a high, a medium, and a low. And then from there, that would gauge their necessity. Well, I want to move quick. Just, do it in the middle or do it the lowest or whatever. I want to be out of here. Or, you know what, I have time. I want to get as much equity as I can. So that's a critical question to ask too, when you and your seller are determining what price point they should be at.
Yes.
With all those comps and then the high, medium, and low. Great information, Angela. You are just a plethora of knowledge, and I look forward to chatting with you after the show here and get back out to your office.
All right.
And share with your realtors about the power of staging. How could someone reach you today if they didn't, if they wanted to reach out to you and get some information to buying and selling?
Well, you can call me or text me. My number is 281-734-4688. Or you can go to luxuryinthewoodlands.com, and that'll send you over to my Gary Green website.
Luxuryinthewoodlands.com. And we will repost all of this. This will also be with all of the information posted in about 48 hours. By my business partner and husband, Jeff. Hey, Jeff. On our YouTube channel. If you haven't signed up for our YouTube channel, please do so. Just search Tada by Kat, TADABYKAT. We have all of our episodes uploaded there. I'm pretty sure, Jeff will correct me if I'm wrong, that Angela's is our 53rd episode with all kinds of guests and all kinds of topics. So, reach out to us and connect with us there. If you hit the bell or smash the bell, as people say, you'll get notified. You won't get barraged, but you'll get notified when something's been uploaded. We only upload, about once a week. So as usual, thank you so much for tuning in to us, and stay positive, stay hopeful, and stay connected. And we thank you for connecting with me and Angela today. And
thanks so much, Kat. Appreciate it.
You're so welcome. It was such a pleasure, Angela. I'm sure we'll have you on again with updates, but thank you so much. Everybody have a great weekend and happy October. Bye.